Star Trek has found its most underrated chief medical officer. When Trekkies debate the best chief medical officer in the Star Trek franchise, familiar names tend to dominate the conversation. Dr. Leonard Bones, McCoy with his southern charm and gruff compassion, Dr. Beverly Crusher with her steely resolve and maternal wisdom, and even the enigmatic and morally complex Dr. Julian Bashir from Deep Space Nine. However, quietly serving with competence, empathy, and intelligence, there's one CMO who consistently flies under the radar despite being every bit as compelling as her peers. Dr. Tana from Star Trek, Lower Decks. That's right, Star Trek's most underrated chief medical officer isn't even humanoid. She's a brash, brilliant Caitian with a foul mouth and a heart of gold. Dr. Tana has turned what could have been a comedic background character into one of the franchise's most unique and layered physicians. Beneath her claws and sarcasm lies a true healer, someone who embodies the best of Starfleet medicine while making us laugh, wince, and occasionally tear up. Lower Decks, a playground for subversion. To appreciate why Dr. Tana deserves more recognition, we first have to look at Lower Decks itself. When it premiered in 2020, the animated comedy series was met with skepticism. Could a satirical take on Star Trek coexist within the canon while still honoring the spirit of Gene Roddenberry's vision? The answer turned out to be a resounding yes. The show doesn't just lampoon Trek tropes, it deepens them, offering a more inclusive look at what life is like for those who aren't on the bridge, those who fix the holodecks, scrub the Jeffries tubes, and yes, deal with alien STDs. And amidst this ragtag ensemble, Dr. Tana has emerged as a standout character. Her medical brilliance is unquestioned, and she provides the emotional anchor for many of the show's most surprising moments. Meet Dr. Tana, a furry force of nature. Dr. Tana is a Caitian, a feline species first introduced in Star Trek, the animated series. From her first appearance, she subverts expectations. Instead of a purring, graceful creature, we meet a grumpy, gravel-voiced doctor who chain-smokes hyposprays and treats the human body like it's something she tolerates rather than reveres. But don't let her abrasiveness fool you. Like all great doctors in Star Trek, she holds a deep and sacred respect for life. She saves lives in impossible circumstances, improvises under pressure, and often risks her own safety to protect her crew. Tana embodies the Hippocratic Oath, even if she'd rather claw your face off than admit she cares. Her crude language and sardonic humor make her a scene stealer, but they also serve a narrative function, masking deep emotional layers. She might yell at patients to stop whining, but then you'll see her tenderly tending to a wounded ensign or anxiously pacing when one of the lower deckers is missing. That duality, rage and warmth, sarcasm and sincerity, is what makes her stand out. Beyond the gags, a real Starfleet doctor. In many ways, Tana is the spiritual descendant of Dr. McCoy. Both are crusty, emotionally guarded, and deeply loyal. But where McCoy's cynicism was often expressed in Southern charm, Tana's comes with claws and F-bombs, well, heavily implied ones, thanks to TV-14 constraints. Despite her comedic setting, she follows in the proud tradition of Starfleet medicine, blending science and ethics with a strong sense of personal morality. In one standout episode, An Embarrassment of Duplers, Tana performs high-stakes medical work on multiple crewmates in the middle of a diplomatic crisis, balancing professionalism with barely contained frustration at everyone's incompetence. Her ability to juggle chaos, deliver real results, and never once doubt herself? That's classic Starfleet. She also refuses to let red tape slow her down. Unlike the prim and proper Dr. Crusher or the rule-abiding Dr. Phlox, Tana often bends protocol to do what she thinks is right. This rebellious streak is especially refreshing given the stiff hierarchy usually present in Starfleet. It's not that she doesn't respect the chain of command, it's just that if someone's bleeding out, she's going to shove the captain out of the way to save a life. A complex relationship with Shaxs. One of the most unexpectedly poignant aspects of Tana's character development has been her relationship with LT. Shaxs, the burly, death-loving Byron security officer. What began as a series of bizarre flirtations and violent sex jokes evolved into a surprisingly sincere romance. In We'll Always Have Tom Paris, we see glimpses of tenderness between them, moments where Tana lets her guard down just a bit. In a show filled with parody and rapid-fire jokes, these small emotional beats carry weight. Her connection with Shax is rooted in shared trauma, respect for strength, and mutual vulnerability. It humanizes her, or rather, Cation-izes her. Their bond is unique not just because it adds romantic depth to her character, but because it defies Trek norms. Most of Star Trek's romantic pairings involve high-minded idealism or epic tragedy. Tana and Shax's, meanwhile, are just two seasoned officers with emotional scars who find solace in each other. It's messy, real, and oddly beautiful. A new kind of role model. For decades, Star Trek's doctors have represented the best of humanity, or alien kind. They're often the conscience of the crew, advocating for empathy, peace, and care. Tana continues this tradition, but through a very different lens. She's not gentle like Dr. Crusher or philosophical like Dr. Bashir. She's raw, real, and unfiltered. She's what happens when you've been on too many missions, seen too many horrors, and still get up every day to save lives anyway. In this way, she's a kind of role model the franchise hasn't had before. Her strength isn't in diplomacy or bedside manner. It's in persistence, integrity, and unrelenting honesty. She shows that being a hero doesn't always look pretty. Sometimes it's yelling at someone while you staple their arm back on. Sometimes it's being the last person standing in sickbay during a warp core breach. And sometimes it's just showing up, again and again, even when no one thanks you for it. Why she deserves more recognition. The Star Trek fandom is no stranger to passionate debate. We rank captains, argue over timelines, and form deep emotional connections to characters. Yet Dr. Tana remains curiously under-discussed in these circles. Perhaps it's because Lower Decks is animated. Perhaps it's because her characterization leans heavily into comedy. But to dismiss her for those reasons is to overlook one of the most innovative and heartfelt portrayals of a Starfleet officer in years. Dr. Tana embodies the essence of Star Trek, infinite diversity in infinite combinations. She's an alien, a woman, a senior officer, and a source of comic relief, and none of those things define her entirely. She's all of them at once, a living example of how complex characters can still thrive in even the goofiest corners of the galaxy. Final diagnosis: a Starfleet great. Every era of Star Trek gives us a doctor to remember, an anchor of logic, compassion, and resilience amidst the strange new worlds they encounter. Dr. Tana stands proudly among them, claws sharpened and hypospray at the ready. She might not have the dramatic gravitas of McCoy or the motherly grace of Crusher, but she brings something arguably more important to the table: raw honesty, deep care, and an unrelenting refusal to sugarcoat reality. In a time when Star Trek continues to evolve across different formats and tones, Tana is proof that even an animated, vulgar, scratch-happy cat doctor can carry.